So Rise of the Resistance at Galaxy's Edge here in Disneyland, California opened up a couple of weeks back. And I decided I wanted to nitpick a little bit on it because there's some things about this ride that just kind of annoys me. And it's not just the ride itself. It's sort of the way that the Disney has marketed the ride. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of skip around on a full walk ride through video that I found here on YouTube. I'm going to have the link of that video in case you want to check it out in its entirety in the description box below without me skipping over things and talking over it and whatnot. But other than that, let's get the nitpicking going on right now, right here on Muse Now, baby. Here we go. So first off, the first thing that kind of annoys me is the name itself, Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. The Resistance is an offshoot of, or pretty much a carbon copy of the Rebellion, and it, much like when you copy anything, it is not as good as the original. I did not like this whole idea of them putting two rides in the park that were pretty much rides based on strictly the new sequel trilogy. I wasn't a big fan of that because I'm not a huge fan of the sequel trilogy itself, and I know that a lot of people aren't. There isn't enough right now in Galaxy's Edge for like the original trilogy lovers and even the prequel trilogy lovers. There's like nothing there for prequel lovers that I can think up off the top of my head. There's little nods here and there, and the Millennium Falcon is an original trilogy creation, not a sequel trilogy creation, but much like pretty much everything that Disney does, it's been aped. The Millennium Falcon has been commandeered by this new generation, bastardized, and made a part of their own world. But let's get straight into the nitty-gritty, as it were, as we look at this ride-through, again, brought to you by DSNY or Disney Newscast. If you want to take a look at it, no me talking or anything like that, link is in the description box below. Let's take a quick look. It starts off right here. When you go into the ride, you're going into, I guess this is a room here where you're going to meet up with Rey, and Rey's going to tell you some sort of story about what's going on.
We have transport waiting to take you to General Organa's base on Makara. I'll reconvene there. The Resistance desperately needs your help in our fight against Kylo Ren and the First Order.
Okay, so this is my first problem. The story is stupid. Here it is. Notice what she just said. She said, and I might be mistaken here. You know what? Let's go back just a little bit because I don't want to be mistaken.
The Resistance desperately needs your help in our that is now headed to this system. Your outpost on Batuu is no longer safe. We have transport waiting to take you to General Organa's base on Makara. I'll reconvene there.
So they have outposts. So you have to go from Batuu, which is where you're at right now, that's the name of the little complex there that you're at in Galaxy's Edge, is Batuu, and you have to go to a different place, right? And that's what you're supposed to do. That is your goal there, to meet up with General Organa's, because Batuu is no longer safe. So you're trying to escape Batuu, right? Keep that in mind for later on when you're actually, where do you land at the end of this ride? Again, nitpicking. All we're doing here is nitpicking, baby. They need our help. So here we go. While we nitpick, we're also going to talk about good things. The level of theming on this ride is amazing. It's everywhere that you look. And what you're going to do here is, after you come out of this little place here, you're going to head out the door into this open air thing. So now, excuse all the screaming and shit. I mean, these are the shows that they get first access to it, right? So you're gonna just go across in this little open air area, and this is another like another entrance there. So one showroom, second, you're going into the second showroom right there, or I guess you wouldn't call it a showroom. I don't know what they call it exactly. Put a comment down below if you know what they call those little rooms that you're in, you know, where you're kind of waiting for stuff. So this is the second part here. You're getting on a shuttle, and you could feel the ground moving according to that guy. I'm going to pass by him a little bit here. So this right here is not Akbar. This is some other guy. I don't know. I can't remember his name. But this goes again to what my other problem is that you have this great plethora of characters that you could use, and we're always getting second-rate versions of these characters instead of getting the real deal. Now, obviously, Akbar died in The Last Jedi, but I mean, when is this really set? I don't really know. So in this second little pre-show room, you experience this whole thing. Poe's a part of it and whatnot, but you're like inside of the shuttle, and you're supposed to be going now into this other. Now you're gonna go to another showroom. So let's skip through here. This is fucking useless General Hux. All the characters that you're using for this are fucking useless, second-rate characters that nobody cares about. That'll be completely forgotten. So now from there, you're going to enter. I think now you're in the Star Destroyer. And the first thing to do is you walk into this huge room. And it looks massive, this room. Right? And most of it is just empty space. And this right here is pretty cool because you have that screen that gives the impression of it being a lot. It makes everything look a lot larger than what it really is. It's kind of like putting a mirror at the end of your hallway. And you have a bunch of these stormtroopers, which I believe some of them move. But the guy's moving around too fast. They might not move. You want to know a really big shill for Disney? There's the guy Michael K's right there. Where am I at here? So now you're moving into another phase. Because you're going to get into... So, I mean, this thing is like a lot of pre-show. A lot of pre-show. And that could be good. Because it's a fun pre-show. No lie. And the theming is amazing. Look at where you're at right now in this room. It's fantastic. You got some stormtroopers here. You got a lot of Imperial... No, they're not Imperial. And so, we haven't even gotten to the ride yet. It's like freaking incredible how long this is. So, we're about... How long in? I've been skipping over some stuff. We're about 8 minutes in of pre-show here, and we still haven't gotten into the ride. So, this is another room. So, this is what, your third room? So, Hux is coming out. And Disney... Wow, when it comes to the level of detail, they have the shadows moving and everything like that. That's obviously some sort of projection. I don't know if that's the Pepper's Ghost effect or how they're doing that. Now we got Kylo coming out. No, I don't. And so, here we go. So now you're on the ride. So now you're getting on the ride. This is when things get kind of really, really stupid to me, and I'll tell you why. So you're on this thing here. You're being busted out by the Resistance. And come on, people, start moving. All right, here we go. So now, this is a trackless ride system. It's very much... This is not all new technology at all. Not even close to all new technology. This is technology that's been used already in many rides. There was a Scooby-Doo ride in, I think, Japan or somewhere that uses this technology. Disney uses this same exact technology in a ride called Mystic Manor in Hong Kong. So this is all new stuff. This is what kind of pissed me off about it taking so long was, the fact that the ride system itself is already they know about this ride system. They used it all before. Even these effects that they have here are very similar to the effects that they have in Mystic Manor. If you ever get a chance, go look at Mystic Manor. Now this looks awesome right here. You have these huge AT-ATs, right? I mean, being there, it's gotta be amazing to see these really big things. But then something stupid happens. So they're shooting, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell this right here. Yeah, so they're going into this elevator. So you have over there in that corner, I believe that's Ray and no, that's Finn, maybe and Poe over there. I don't know who's over there. Now this is what's done. Watch this. Look at this thing. The AT-AT lowers its gun and shoots at you. You are inside. You are literally inside of a Star Destroyer in the middle of space, maybe hovering over some planet. Right? And this huge, like, machine lowers its cannons and shoots into the Star Destroyer. And look at this thing's in the background. Do you really think that is the only damage that would make? 4 little holes? No, that shit would blow the whole thing up. So right off the bat, this is just, it blew my mind when I first saw this because it was just so dumb. And then look at these guys. So now you have all these, okay, now you have all the X-Wings, everything showing up, right? And now you're in full battle mode. And he knows that you're there, so now he's gonna come chase you. Right? He has all these crazy things going on, but he's gonna come chase you. This right here looks cool and everything. And again, I mean, that's I guess a cool little effect and everything like that. But a lot of this stuff just doesn't make any sense to me. What is this? How is this possible? You have these huge guns, and what are they shooting out of? They're shooting out of windows? Yeah, it looks like just huge cannons and they're just shooting out of the windows. But you're walking through here. This is space. This is space. Look at the damage done inside here. Of course, abandon ship. You have to abandon the ship because the freaking AT... They're just no care at all. Now, this is another thing that kind of pisses me off. And this pisses me off for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's the vacuum of space, right? He would get sucked out and whatever, whatnot. But I think that the effect looks really stupid. This effect here looks dumb. And there was probably a much better way to do this, but just to lay the thing down like that, it was cheap, it was lazy. It was not creative at all. And that was probably the biggest, like, ugh. Now this right here is a little drop. So pretty much, you take this trackless system into a elevator, and what the elevator is going to do is it's going to drop you, right? Just a small little drop. It's not Tower of Terror type of drop. And now you're back in the same system that you were in the Millennium Falcon ride a little earlier. And then now you are heading back to Batuu. Because you escaped. So this is the stuff that kind of annoys me about present day Disney. They have no attention, like everything is about spectacle and there's no attention to any type of details and continuing. There's no attention to the small things that make things great. They do a lot of the things that make things good, but they don't do a lot of the things that can make things great. And that is why this ride to me is such a huge disappointment. It has so many cool things, but there are things that will just completely take you out of it if you really think about it. And also because it is not as revolutionary as I would have liked to have seen from this sort of ride. This is a ride system that's been done before. The effects on it, while they look cool at first, once you do it more than once, they lose their luster very, very quickly. Then on top of that, some things just outright look stupid. Like that Kylo Ren thing at the end just looks completely, totally dumb. And again, that was in Mystic Manor. You had this whole thing where there's like wind and everything like that, and like the little chimpanzee, or I'm sorry, not chimpanzee, little monkey, I don't know what it is getting caught in the wind and everything like that. Very, very similar, except done sort of better in Mystic Manor than was done here. I also don't understand why this ride was delayed as much as it was, because there's nothing here that I'm just sitting there going, wow, they had to really figure that out. That small little drop, that little elevator drop that they had, I mean, they've been doing that with Tower of Terror for years. For many decades, actually, with Tower of Terror. So where is the innovation? Where is that awe thing? I mean, if you really want to get to it, maybe the theming of the ride is what awes people about the ride, but nothing else is there really to make you go, wow, this is amazing. A bunch of stormtroopers standing around in a pretty much empty room? That is amazing nowadays. Disney has been doing the bare minimum to wow its audience, and it's been failing mostly at it for the past 10 years? I mean, realistically, what are we really, when was the last time that Disney's done something that's been just so monumentally incredible? We need things to move forward. We need things to get better and not just more expensive. We need to get better, not just more expensive. And that's what's been happening with Disney. It's been the barrier to entry at Disney has been increasing over the years, and we haven't been getting more. We've been actually getting less from Disney. We've been getting less creative output. We've been getting less satisfaction, joy, storytelling, good storytelling from Disney. All the things that made Disney a cut above the rest, we haven't been getting. And instead, we've been getting it from other companies that have been trying to do things differently and been trying to innovate in this space and in all the spaces, even in its movies and everything, where Disney is pretty much just formulaic in its approach to everything. And yes, they have been very successful with that formula, but that formula is only going to last until people just tire, and we're getting there. You want to talk about a rise of a resistance? There is a resistance that is ready to rise against Disney, because Disney has been just milking its audience and not providing the sort of same level of joy that they did for previous generations. And the next generation is not going to love Disney the same way that this generation does. They will not love Disney the same way. There's too much competition out there from other content providers that are trying to be innovative in that space. Disney Plus is an unmitigated disaster with absolutely no content on there worth seeing other than The Mandalorian, and it's done already for this season. You have absolutely there's nothing right now that Disney is doing just to make me think that Disney is a company that I can bet my entertainment dollar on in the future. I can't. And Rise of the Resistance is just another symbol of that. It is a very lazy attempt. And I'm not saying it's a bad ride. I'm not saying it's a bad ride at all. What I'm saying, it's an okay ride. It's a good ride when they really needed to have a great ride for this shit fest that is Galaxy's Edge. This absolute disaster that is Galaxy's Edge. And it didn't provide that. It didn't provide the innovation that it needed to do, the entertainment value that it needed to do, and the repeatability that it needed. It didn't provide that in this one because they went lazy. They just rethemed Mystic Manor. That's exactly what they did with Rise of the Resistance. But anywho, that is it right now. That was my little take on Rise of Resistance. If you want to see an uninterrupted ride through of this ride, go ahead and click the link in the in the description box, and leave your comments downstairs. If you agree, disagree, it's all good. I will catch you guys on the next one, and until then, rise.